Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So hopefully you've been following me on Twitter. I've been very active on there lately. It's at Ryan Lum, Happy Healthy Vegan. I retweeted the story a few days ago, got a lot of activity, and the major news media has been on top of this story too. And I'm glad I waited a day or two to make this video because today the World Health Organization made a statement saying that this new African swine flu or G4, we cannot let our guard down on this one like we did with coronavirus. So let's start off with some of the mainstream media reaction to it. And here's a pretty good description of what it is.
ASF is a viral fever in hogs. It is highly contagious and detrimental to the hogs once they get it. Approximately, once they get it, it's about 100% fatality rate. It's a very hardy virus. It can survive for long times and extreme environments as well.
So as you heard there, it's a very serious virus for pigs. It's pretty much a death sentence for pigs. And once again, we didn't get to the pandemic issue yet, but all these pandemics, potential pandemic in this case, are created via animal agriculture in some way or another. And I'm going to talk about that more later on, but let's get more to the specifics here. How does this relate to humans? Have humans been infected yet? Well, let's listen to Dr. Fauci from his press conference earlier today.
The Chinese, over the last week or two, have identified a virus in the environment. It has not yet shown to be infecting humans.
So I'm not quite sure why Dr. Fauci said what he said there, because it's technically and factually incorrect. The swine flu has crossed over from swine to humans and has affected many humans in China.
Well, over the weekend, China announced that there were several more cases of African swine fever within their country. So this brings the total up to 8 cases within the country, affecting 5 different provinces.
So if we can trust China's numbers, there are at least 8 active human cases of this swine flu, where it's crossed from swine to humans. However, this virus is not completely new. It's been around since 2016, as this research paper has found. And this is the paper that all these mainstream news media outlets are talking about right now. And the researchers found through antibody tracing that approximately 10.4% of China's swine workers have already been infected by it, and about 4.4% of the general population as well. So the big takeaway from this data is that the virus has already made the step of being able to cross over from animals to infecting humans. The good news is that so far there's no evidence to say that the virus is transmitting between humans to humans, which would make it potentially the next pandemic.
It's something that still is in the stage of examination. It's not so-called an immediate threat where you're seeing infections, but it's something we need to keep our eye out on, just the way we did in 2009 with the emergence of the swine flu.
So Dr. Fauci is 100% correct here in that epidemiologists, virologists, researchers, medical doctors all need to keep a close eye on this swine flu, because here is the fear. It's already infecting humans. It's not just in swines only. It's crossed over to infecting humans. And as more humans get infected, more adaptations can occur within the virus, which will make it transmittable between humans to humans. And that's what could cause a pandemic. All right, so that's the general background. So let's get into why this keeps happening. Keeps happening, I'm talking about the coronavirus, the past H1N1, pretty much every pandemic that we've had to deal with in the past 100 years has its origins in animal agriculture. And of course, this one being swine flu is absolutely no different. Pig farming is a massive industry in China, and pigs can be important hosts from which novel influenza viruses may emerge, says Dr. James Wood, head of veterinary medicine at Cambridge University. He added that the study was a reminder that we are at constant risk of new emergence of zoonotic pathogens, and that farmed animals with which humans have greater contact with than wildlife may act as the source for important pandemic viruses. So basically, this doctor is being completely honest here, calling out the world, telling people to wake up and realize that it's animal agriculture that's directly responsible for these pandemics. And this reminds me of a video I made back in March after coronavirus became a worldwide phenomenon that we're all experiencing still. And the chief environmentalist of the United Nations said coronavirus should be a wake-up call for all creatures on Earth, that we are destroying the planet. And it's because of animal agriculture. No surprise. Let's take a little flashback. In an exclusive interview with The Guardian, the United Nations environmental chief said that no, this is most likely nature sending us a message. The two major factors, the two major issues that need to be tackled if we want to decrease the chances of future pandemic outbreaks are to handle global warming. The planet is getting too hot, which is causing animal behaviors to change. And secondly, the loss of habitat, the loss of the natural world. What the article didn't specifically call out are the number one causes of these two problems, and that's animal agriculture. According to this report from the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, animal agriculture is responsible for 18% of all greenhouse gas emissions globally, and this is more than all of transportation combined. Secondly, the United Nations said we need to look at the loss of natural habitat, and once again, animal agriculture is up there as being a main culprit. For example, animal agriculture is responsible for around 91% of Amazon rainforest destruction, either in the way of clear cutting for animals to graze the land or for crops to be grown for livestock. And given that livestock or livestock feed occupies approximately 1/3 of our planet's ice-free land, that doesn't leave much natural world for everything and everyone else. So, if the United Nations is correct here, saying that the continued warming of our planet and the continued loss of our natural world are the two primary factors which will cause future pandemics to be more common, while, as we've seen here, animal agriculture is the primary driver of those two very factors. So we might be in for a lot of trouble in the not so distant future. So what needs to be added to that list is this specific mass factory farming that's happening on these hog farms in China, and happens in hog farms and cattle factory farming facilities here in the United States as well. It's been long known that these factory farming practices provide the perfect breeding ground for these zoonotic diseases, which can be potential pandemics like this swine flu. And I see lots of discussion on Twitter and in these articles about what needs to be done, specifically what China needs to do right now to make sure it doesn't spread any further and cross to the rest of the world. I see absolutely no discussion about the root cause of this problem, because if we don't look at the root cause of the problem, this problem will keep happening over and over and over again, as it has been happening. And the root cause of this problem is people eating meat. This fascination that humans have with eating meat, and it's absolutely needless. There's no point on eating meat anymore. As I've shown here, the number one source of greenhouse gas emissions is animal agriculture. That should be reason alone to stop eating meat. But now that we see that pandemics are caused by animal agriculture as well, there's pretty much no reason to eat meat if you actually have any genuine concern about the health of our planet and the health of our people, and not destroying our economies. How this coronavirus pandemic is affecting us all. And I've seen economists say what's happening now with coronavirus, economy-wise, will pale in comparison to what we may be going through, and not too far in the future, to try to combat our rising sea levels and the rest of the problems that occur from climate change. I know some of you new viewers might be thinking, how can you get by just eating plants? Where do you get your protein? These are not problems whatsoever. If you're not sure, I encourage you to watch more of our videos, not just mine, but other vegan YouTubers. Read books by vegan medical doctors. There's no nutrient deficiencies inherent in a vegan diet. You get all the protein you need on a vegan diet. This will actually be my 10th year vegan. I'm 52 years now, and later on, after turning 53 this summer, in fall I'll be vegan. I've been vegan 10 years, and I'm healthier than ever. And I'm just not a weird outlier story here. This is generally the case for people. So it's a win-win-win, as I like to say. It's a win for the animals. They don't need to needlessly die in order for you to eat them. You can just eat plants. It's a win for our planet. Saving our planet should be an important thing for most people. Don't you want a place where a planet where your children and grandchildren can happily live out their lives as we've more or less been able to, at least until recently? And it's a win for our health. So there's absolutely no reason to keep needlessly destroying the planet and needlessly bringing about the conditions that will make these pandemics arise more and more. So anyway, everyone, leave your questions and comments down below. Hit like and share this video to let people know that we really have the power to prevent these pandemics from happening over and over again. It just requires a little bit of lifestyle change. And I'll tell you, it's not that hard to eat plants. It really isn't. Especially now in 2020, there's veganized versions of every food that you've desired and been eating your whole life. They exist right now, and they're really effing good. So anyway, hit like, share this video, and until next time, oh yeah, leave your comments down below. What do you think about my advice here, my suggestion of how to end all future pandemics? I know it sounds really grandiose for me to put this suggestion out there that I have the answer, but it really is, you know? So anyway, leave your questions, comments down below, hit like, and let's keep it carb, baby.